Welcome to Pro Practice, your guide to piano mastery. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode will be covering the Menuet in D Minor BWV Anh.132 from the second notebook for Anna Magdalena Bach by Johann Sebastian Bach. These are a collection of works by Johann Sebastian Bach, as well as several others. We have three notebooks from the Bach family: the 1720 Clavierbüchlein for Wilhelm Friedmann Bach, and then the two musical notebooks published in 1722 and 1725 for Anna Magdalena Bach, his second wife. Before we get started in today's tutorial, and with this being such a short piece, we'll be able to get into a lot of detail in today's tutorial because it's only 3 lines long. I'll go ahead and I will play it straight through without repeats. A big portion of today's tutorial is going to be covering expression and ornaments that we could possibly use on the repeats to make things more interesting. I can't stand it when people play repeats and they don't do anything differently. So we'll keep that in mind. I'm not going to play the repeats this first time through, just to give a taste to anybody who is not familiar with this piece. Here goes. Charming little piece, and I really think the repeats are critical in this. I wouldn't just take the second endings like I just did. Again, that was just for a taste, in case any of you are not familiar with the piece. But there are so many things that we are going to be doing with that. I want to actually start with artistry in today's tutorial, and then we will get more to the fingering and the basics at the end. I usually do it the opposite. I usually go over all the fingering first, but I want to get those creative juices flowing right from the get-go. So allow that to possibly come down so you can regrow. That's called a slide. I actually didn't know that particular ornament. They have a big ornament table at the beginning of Henley that I've studied many times, but I texted my teacher at Michigan, Logan Skelton, and he referred me to a book by Robert Donington. This is a slide, so we're going to play this on the beat, and we'll play D, E, F. Okay? So we're already seeing that expression can be used. Another big pet peeve, besides people taking repeats and doing nothing differently, is this thought that Bach's music should be played without expression because it was written for harpsichord, and some of it even written for clavichord. This could not be further from the truth. I was lucky enough to do my Doctor of Musical Arts degree at the University of Michigan. We had a class, a seminar with Edward Parmentier, an amazing harpsichord player, recording artist, and I've never heard such gorgeous harpsichord playing as when he would demonstrate in class. It was a revelation. Now, it doesn't have the wide dynamic range that a piano does. It doesn't have a lot of the advantages that we have as pianists, but his was unbelievably expressive. You could feel the warmth. So with the modern instrument that we have here, I would challenge you to do slight crescendos and diminuendos, and also not a lot of rubato in here. It's for the most part very even, but I would also say no one would ever say you cannot breathe in Bach's music. That would be something people that are going to die on their sword of like zero rubato in Bach. If you said, "Can I breathe?" they'd say, "Well, of course you could breathe." So I think that denotes a very slight amount of rubato. So what I'm saying is expressive. that has a little bit of bending here and there, so I might take a little bit of time to get up to there. I remember reading in a book, I have no idea where I read this, but they said wide leaps in Baroque music often denoted a chance to take a little bit of time. So when I'm teaching, also the Menuet in G major earlier on in this notebook, but you're seeing that I'm taking just a little bit of time to get to there, and then I might take a little bit of time to set up the A7 before we go back to D minor. So, and I'm mostly following directional dynamics. I'm not doing it religiously because I'm not going truly every rise is a crescendo and every fall is a diminuendo. I'm not doing that, but I'm looking at the overall shapes. So I will crescendo to there because I'm thinking to there and then down. Come up a little and then come back down a little. So up a little, down a little. Okay, now with all the notes. And it just adds so much character, and it helps the conviction of your playing. And it also helps your technique. If you're playing this, my guess is that you might be a beginner pianist, maybe you're an intermediate player, perhaps you're an advanced student playing the entire notebook, which would be a very fun recital. But if you're struggling technically in here, I've noticed personally that musicality makes my technique feel better. Just the other day, I was playing the first scherzo, which will by Chopin, which we'll cover in a month or two on this channel, is my guess. Those go really fast in that Chopin, and my teacher said, you know, it seems a little rushed. I'll play for her a few times a year. She's so brilliant, Susan Duhlmeyer. And she said, if you feel the expression in that line, I immediately played it better technically. I was like, oh my gosh, I know this concept. I teach it to my students all the time. But it was very important as a reminder that we always need to be expressing things. So do not play flat. I'm going to get off my soapbox. You guys have heard enough of that now. So let's keep going. From here. And I think that's pretty basic. Let's go to there. And then allow it to come back down. Okay. And I like to put that on the beat. In Donington's book, he said, you know, it's up to you if you want it to be a little quicker before the beat. That's one flavor. But he said largely when he sees slides, he likes them on the beat because it adds an extra amount of conviction and passion. And you don't have to kill it. You know, and smack that first note. It's just... All right, let's have some fun with ornamentation.